Morning, fellas. Cable Guy Ken here. Wanted to show you the sheath now that I've got it hot waxed and everything, and show you a few other ones that I'd made. I let the wax get way too hot. It's what happens when you don't pay attention, and it kind of shrunk it up a little bit. But it is solid now. Gives it a lot more thickness, but it still doesn't really weigh a whole lot. Still retains the knife, pretty good. I've got it clamped down around it. The point comes to about right here on it. You can see. So it's no worries of it sticking out. So it holds it pretty good. I've got enough room here to run a piece of string through the back, piece of paracord or leather lashing. Kind of open that back up. The wax is just drying on it. There we go. So I've got room to run a piece of cordage through here and wear it around a neck, or you could put a small belt through there, but I really made it more for a neck knife type deal. It's got wax on the blade. I still need to rub it down to get any excess off of it, but this is what happens if you let the wax get too hot, especially with this thin leather. It'll heat the leather up and actually scorch it a little bit. But that's it. Don't look too bad. It makes it look older than it is. I'm happy with it, but it'll do the job for what it's needed. This is one I made. This is actually the first leather sheath that I made. I made it for a cross draw, or for a left-handed person, with my little deer antler knife. That's just a piece of A2. Got a couple of brass pins in it. The tang only goes in to about here on it, but it's plenty strong enough for skinning and stuff, for camp chores, which is what I made it for. It's not made for wood. I made that to be a period type skinner, camp knife, that kind of thing. Just a little drop-in sheath. Again, it's shaped to the blade more or less, just by heating it up with hot water and then putting the blade in it, pressing it down, and then letting it dry. I made the belt loop on it really large, which is great when I'm wearing a bigger belt, but when you're wearing a smaller belt, it'll have a tendency to pull up as you pull the knife out. Plus, it's really, the knife's really snug in there. I'm shaking this pretty good, and it's not gonna fall out or anything. But got a couple of different styles here. These are riveted, just folded over, riveted, and then the strap, the belt strap, has another piece of leather wrapped around and riveted to it. And this one's too stiff to pull it down far enough to do it, but the idea is so that it can be pulled off if you need to. There's a little skinner with diamond wood and what they call Corby rivets, or not Corby, yeah, Corby rivets, the screw-in rivets. And then this one, I shaped it a little bit different. Same little deal, just a little skinner, polished blade. I don't normally do that, but it looks pretty good, so I decided to go with that route. There's no point on this really, and it's a full convex edge. In other words, there's not really a flat grind on this knife. It just slopes down to the edge, and it is shaven sharp. Again, that's diamond wood with the same little threaded rivets. I kind of like diamond wood. I use it a good bit on a lot of my knives because it's a rosin impregnated wood, and you don't have to worry about rot. It takes a really good shine, as you can see the light coming off of that. You can see my camera and the polish on the blade. But again, this style is made, it's really easy to do. You basically just cut the leather and put a long strap on it, fold it over and rivet it. Rivet you a piece of leather to the end of your belt loop, and then you can stretch it over the end of your knife and pull it up, and it's not going anywhere, it's never going to come off. I mean, this thing will last forever. This is made, of course, out of the 8 to 9 inch, and then I'm just using black shoe polish, black liquid shoe polish, and rubbing it into the leather before I finish putting it together, and that gives it some protection and darkens it up, gives it a nice black color. Of course, it will wear off of the rivets. I try to put it on there, but it's going to wear off of the rivets too. So that's it, y'all. Go out, get you some leather. Go to Texas Knife Maker Supply, Tandy Leather Company, either one. You can buy it in, you know, just sheets like this, or you can buy half sides, whole sides, quarter sides, shoulders. I mean, there's so many different varieties. You can get raw leather. You can get it tanned, oil tanned, vegetable tanned. I mean, there's so many different options. They all work about the same. And like I said, you don't have to spend a ton of money on getting scribes and punch marks. You saw I just marked my spots here with a fork to get the spacing on my threads. Same thing I did with this one. Get you some artificial sinew or some good, you know, wax thread, anything like that. You can buy those at hobby short shops, or you can get those at Texas Knife Makers as well. And just start out with simple, you know, pouch style sheaths like these. I said they're real easy. You can even rivet it if you want to, if you don't want to sew it. The rivets, I mean, this thing's never going to wear out. I mean, eventually the threads can get cut or frayed, and they'll start coming apart, and it'll have to be repaired. But the rivets are never going anywhere. It just doesn't look, you know, it's not quite as nice looking as the stitching is, but it's a lot more durable. Now these have not been hot waxed. This one was. This one was waxed when I made it, but I did it this one I soaked in the wax. This one I heated up with steam and kept brushing melted wax into it and just kept heating it up. That's another way you can hot wax a knife. It doesn't give you as hard a shell as that one. I mean, that one almost sounds like plastic now, but it's a lot safer method, a lot easier to do. So that's it, brothers. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this gives you a little bit of insight and gets you inspired. Go out and make you a sheath for your knife, and then if nothing else, buy a knife kit from Texas Knife Makers and put it together, and get started in making your own knives. It's really it's an experience for me. I mean, picking this up and looking at it, and you see they call this their striped tiger wood, or diamond wood rather. Just being able to pick something up like this and look at it and say, hey, I made that, you know, that just, it thrills me to death. So peace out, everybody. Getting ready to go get my kids, spend the weekend with them. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this has taught you a little bit. Cable Guy Ken here. Catch you on the next one.